Okay, now the next part, after I've done the front lip, is to do the side sills and to do the rear spats right there. Okay, so as you know, I live in Canada, so this is a Canadian spec FRS, which is virtually the same as the American or United States spec FRS, except of course we measure our speed in kilometers per hour, so distances in kilometers. We're on the metric system up here. That's one difference, but another difference is that all Canadian FRS and Subaru BRZ, they come with mud flaps, both rear and on the front. So the kits, the body kits for the spat, the rear spat extensions, the aprons here, as well as the side sills, are built for cars that do not have that. So this is where it's supposed to go, and as you can see, it interferes with the placement of the rear spat. That's no good. Okay, these are the side sill extensions, and let's see how this fits. That's gonna go right to there. And as you can see, this isn't going to work. Not with the mud flaps on. It would also be very hard to shape the end of the side sill to match the mud flap as well because of the curved shape there. So I think I'm going to have to take off the mud flaps in order to finish putting on these side sills and rear spats. I got no choice. It's kind of annoying because I actually kind of like the mud flaps. I like the look of it. But anyway, I'll take them off and we'll see how everything looks. Okay, I'm going to remove my rear mud flap. They've got one bolt under here, and you also have a few bolts right inside here, and to access them I've got to remove this tire, which means I got to use this guy to raise up the rear end. Jack stands for safety. Okay, the wheel's off, and now I can access. We have two screws here, and we have what looks like one 10mm bolt here. Plus underneath, we have one screw underneath as well. Everything's pretty dirty in here. Still got to clean this from all the rain that we've been having. And I do notice that I have some rather strange wear pattern on my disc here. I just changed my brake pads to a higher performance brake pad at the rear here, and as you can see, I have a strange pattern. It's got like a ridge right here, very shiny here. So I'm gonna have to look into that and see why there is a different wear pattern on the surface here. We got like a ridge here, so I'll check into that. But right now, let's remove you. Okay, the bolts and the screws came off real easy, and there is the mud flap. You can see it's full of dirt on the inside. We got caked dirt here. That's looking pretty bad. So yeah, we'll have to clean this up before we put on our spat. But yeah, that came off very easily. Okay, I've got a little bit cleaned up, and also this push clip, that's got to be removed as well. Okay, so the rear spat comes with this hardware. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3 of the push pin fasteners. We got 1, 2, 3 screws for extra security, and we've got the same for the other side. So these things should really hold on this rear spat, no problem. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the push pins in place first, And when you use these, you got to make sure that the pin itself, the center part, is elevated. And then after everything is installed, you're going to push this top part down, and that will push out these little arms, and that will secure it on the car. Okay, all the push pins are in, but I don't feel that that's secure enough, so I'm going to put in the screws as well. So the push pins, I watched another video which said just the push pins should hold it in fine, you don't have to add the screws, but in my particular case I disagree. Seems a little bit loose, so definitely I'm going to put the screws in as well. Okay, so I've got the 3 push pins in, which don't fit perfectly in my opinion, and I've got 3 screws, which now I believe has made it secure enough with the 3 screws to be, I feel this installation is now done, and now I have to do the other side, but I'm already liking it from what I can see. Now, as I said, I had to get rid of my mud flap. The mud flap does not work with the rear spat. And so, we'll see what that looks like. Still got to, of course, clean the car. It's really dirty. But, yeah, that looks okay. Okay, just before I put the rear tire back on, just wanted to take a note of the rear spacer that I have here. This is an iBox spacer, really high quality. And this is a 1-inch spacer, 25 millimeter, and that just brings out the stock wheels to fit flush with the fender. I think it makes a really big difference. That's an easy modification you can make to make the stock tires and wheels look a lot better on this car. Okay, the second spat is on. This went a little bit faster because I knew how it went. The push pins on this side went in a little bit smoother, so it was more secure with the push pins, but I still added the 3 screws. There's the push pins, and I still added the 3 screws, 1, 2, and 1 through the hole here, just to give it added security. And these are self-tapping screws, so I didn't drill any holes. I just worked it with the Phillips head screwdriver, and just with light pressure at first until it starts biting into the plastic, and then it will go right into the plastic, and it'll be secure that way. So this has worked out pretty good, pretty easy install. Anyone can do this. If I can do it, anyone can do it, as you know. And yeah, rear spats are on. Next step is the side sills. Side sills I've left to last because they're a little more complicated, because this is all metal, so you have to drill holes into your metal to mount the side sill, so it's a little more complicated, but still very simple, and that's the next step. As you can see, the rear spats make the car look a little wider, which is always a good thing. Yeah, I'm liking it. It goes well with the front spoiler. It goes well with the front lip spoiler, which I'm really liking. And of course, when I get the side sills on, that will all be, the whole design will be tied in together. So it's gonna look good. Oh, yes, look at this. Supercharger, supercharger. Okay, rear spats are done. Looks a little strange without the side sill and with the front mud flap still there, but that'll be gone soon. But yeah, okay, now I've got a rear spoiler, and I'll be putting that on too, and I'll be doing a separate install video for that. That's a 5AD spoiler in my stock color of lightning red. I think CP7 is the code number for that. Anyway, so as you can see, the spats make the car look definitely wider. Definitely wider. Yeah, I'm liking it. I'm liking it. And I also like how this part matches this crease line, this body line here, matches right to here. So this is the slightly more expensive rear spat. There's two different types you can get from eBay. There's a super cheap one, and this one's still pretty cheap. This I think is called CS style. So it has a bit more of a molding effect to the body, while the other one is just mostly just a flat piece of plastic. This one is more molded, and as you can see, it sort of matches the body line here where it does a little kick up. So yeah, I think these are good. The only thing is that this is sort of like almost a gloss plastic, which does not match either the plastic from the original FRS or the plastic from my BRZ diffuser, which has sort of like a satin finish. So none of these finishes match perfectly, which is not ideal, but for the price, you can't expect that kind of perfection. This isn't really a very expensive body kit at all. Okay, we'll just let her run there for a while, let that warm up. Meanwhile, I have to work on this car, the FRS. I've got to put in the side sills right down here. So I've already installed the front lip. The rear spats. Now it's time to put on the side sills. Okay, I've got my FRS up on the jack with a safety jack stand. Always got to have that. You don't want the car to fall on top of you, and that would kind of ruin your day. So I've got to take off this mud flap here because it doesn't work with my sill extension that I have. So this has to come off. Now the backs were pretty easy. I'm hoping the fronts will be easy as well. It looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, and perhaps 4 screws and also a push pin. So let's take that off. Okay, that came off pretty easy, and as you can see, there's a lot of dirt from all the years, and so this will have to be cleaned up before I can put on my new side sills. Okay, this job is going to require at least 1 can of Monster to complete. Okay, so this is my new side sill. These are the screws that come with it. So it's going to be screwed into the metal of the rocker. So I'm going to put up the side sill against the rocker, mark the position with a black felt pen, counterpunch a hole with the punch here, so that will enable the drill to have an easy start. And I'll be using a 1/8 inch drill to get the pilot hole, to get the screws in there. And hopefully I have the car raised up high enough so that the drill can drill into the bottom of these rockers. Now, I don't know if you can see, but when I'm putting it down, when I'm lining up the lip with the rocker here, if I push it in, rotate it underneath, this surface is slightly down, and it's actually coming to a natural stop on the bottom of the rocker right here. So that seems to me where it really wants to be. I'm trying to line it up to the edge of the fender here, the end of the rocker rather, and I'm going to put a mark right there, and a mark right Okay, so now I'm going to use my punch to actually mark the hole to make it easier to drill. Let's see if I can make that happen. All right. First hole is drilled. Okay, the hole is now drilled. My first hole for the installation. Let's first put the first one in. I'm going to put it in a little bit loosely and then do the rest of them. Okay, so I've got 2 of the holes drilled and I've got screws in them right there, and the lip looks pretty good. So now I'm just going to mark. All the rest of the holes with the felt pen, counterpunch them, and then drill them. And in order to do that, I have to take this off again, and then everything should fit after that, and it's going to look really good. Okay, I've drilled 7 holes underneath the car, and I'm just cleaning everything up. I'm going to clean everything up, and I'm going to use a little bit of gasket sealer so to help prevent any water from getting into the drilled holes into the rocker. Hopefully that will prevent any rust from happening, and then we'll just mount up the side sill here and we'll be done. I've got the gasket sealer on the holes, and hoping that that will prevent water ingress into the rocker. So let's put this side sill on. Okay, on this side, the whole thing is installed. Diffuser, rear spats, the entire side sill is now installed. It's pretty secure, fairly shiny plastic. I think it looks pretty good. And of course, the front spoiler. So now I just have to do the other side, and I'm all done. This side sill is now on. I put it on exactly the same way I put it on the other side. I did it slightly faster. Some of the screws I couldn't tighten all the way because maybe the holes are a little bit too large, but so it's all secure with the screws. 7 screws on each side that came with the whole package deal, and as you can see, it fits right up to the fender right here and right up right here as well. So I've got the car off the jack stands. There's the finished product. Side sills are on. Sort of makes the whole look come together. You got the rear spats with the side sills with the front spoiler. Makes it all kind of come together. It all went on pretty easy. So for a fairly cheap way to make a difference on your car, it can't really be beat. It's pretty simple. Now my car definitely needs a wash. It's in really bad shape. But yeah, it makes the car look a little lower to the ground. My car has been lowered 1 inch, but now this makes it look even lower. It makes the rear end a little wider. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with the results. So the kit came with almost everything I needed to put these on. All the screws, all the connectors, push pins. So overall, I gotta say I'm pretty happy. And I will put the link to where I bought this, where I bought the rear spats, side sills, and front lip. I will put the links to those things in the description below. Anyway, thanks for watching Photo Mike's Garage. I will see you next time.